Custom function. What is a custom function? First of all, what is a function? You take any programming language, function is one of the important concept. In simple term, okay, now the question is, why should I need to use a function or something like that? Okay. The reason is, once you create a function, you can call it anytime. As many times as you want it, you can call it. It is kind of a reusability. The functions, or please remember this important thing, okay? And for reusable purpose, for reusability. That is the reason why software became so popular. Automation, all the things, right? Because of reusability, we are able to save a lot of time and duplication effort. We are trying to eliminate the duplication effort or something like that. Okay. Okay, reusability. For the sake of reusability, we create a function, and the function will have the set of or it will have the set of instructions in it. Okay, a function will have a set of instructions in it, and it will return a value. It will return a value, the custom the function. But in Power Query Editor, we call, instead of merely saying function, we call that the custom function. Okay. So once you create a function, right, it's something like a write once, invoke many times. It is something like you buy a car. Once you buy a car, you can use it as many times as possible. If you don't buy a car, what will happen? You will have to hire a cab every day to go to your office, or you need to rely on company cab. Okay, let's assume that you need to your place, company cab will not come, and even the auto is not available. Only option is cab. You need to book a cab. So every day you have to pay money, but different cab will come, and there are some kind of inconvenience also. Right? This custom function is somewhat similar to this. You need to write once. It's something like owning a car, right? So write once and invoke many times. You write all the logic, the commonly used logic, in a single place, so that the same logic, wherever it is required, simply you can call the function. It will perform all kind of calculation, everything, and then it will give you the output. Okay. Now we will take a simple look at, with this example, you should be able to understand what exactly the custom function, now we can use it in real-time scenario. Okay. Look here what I am going to do is, I'm going to right click on this place. Say in the Power Query Editor, on the left side, just beneath the queries. Okay, don't click any queries. The empty space, right click on it, and you will find something called new query. And then if you come here, blank query, click on blank query. That's it. Here, what I am going to do is, I'm going to say, this is rocket arrow. Okay, equal sign and greater than is called your rocket arrow. And here I say A into A. That's all. My function is ready. I call this as a function. Supposing I want to square, let's say I want to square any value. Is it possible with the help of a function? Yes, it is possible. For example, 2. See, it is asking the parameter. So what is this? A here, this is your parameter. Okay, you are in your function, the argument, right? The parameter. For any function, you need to pass a parameter, but there are some cases you don't have to pass a parameter. But in the case of custom function, you need to use some parameter. In this case, A is a parameter, and followed by that, you need to specify the data type. And this is syntax, okay? As is a syntax. So A is a number data type. To tell that, you need to use this syntax, A as number and rocket arrow A into A. So here, you take this A and then multiply the A on its own, okay, so that it will get squared. If I listen here now, as soon as the function I created it, and when I pressed enter, it is asking me the value for this parameter A. If I type 2, what will happen is this 2 will get copied to this one, this A, and then this 2 will get copied here. So 2 into 2 is 4. Got it? So if I click on invoke, look here, 4. And if I ask you, hey, tell me 256 into 256, you don't have to use your calculator. Simply type 256 and click on invoke 65536. See, this function is so handy, right? Square me function. So look here, my query one. So I'm going to give some meaningful name. Right click on it, the query one, select the query one, or right click on it and rename it as square me. Very simple one. As soon as this session is over, please start practice it. Okay, otherwise you will forget it. Okay, square me. Okay, so this is one simple function. And now the question is, square me is fine in real-time scenario where it is. Can you give me some other example? For example, you are part of a payroll department. In your company, you are a payroll manager, and so far you've been calculating the net earnings for each employee manually, or in the Excel you do it. Everything, it's a time-taking process. In your company, you have 250,000 employees are there. Take for example the case of TCS, 5 lakh plus employees are there. To compute the net salary for each and every employee, it is a time-taking process. Though you have each employee's data available in your data set, like what is basic, HRA, and incentive, loss of pay, like all those informations for each employee you have in a data set, it is in time-taking process. Okay, and what you are going to do is you are going to create a function. That function, what you are going to do is you are going to implement the logic for all the employees. For each employee, the same formula is used to compute the net salary, or does it varies employee to employee calculating the net profit for the formula which we use it to compute the net profit, net salary. Okay, for each employee, does it varies? No, right? For all the employees, the formula to compute the net salary is same, but the data will vary from one employee to another employee. That is different story altogether. But the formula to compute the net salary or gross salary is same. I just show you with one simple example. I'm going to create another custom function. Right click on the empty space and new query, click on blank query. Now the question is, sir, every time do you have to go and click on the blank space and select new query and then click on blank query and then do you have to do it? So, okay. So the other option is, okay, I just did the same thing. Go to view and then click on advanced editor. Here also you can write the function, the custom function. Here what I'm going to do is, this is an alternative way of doing it. Okay. And here I'm going to say gsal. Let's say gross salary as number. I'm going to pass two parameter, loss of pay. So gross salary and loss of pay. And this is the one with this. By passing these two things, it should give me the net salary. Simple example for demonstration purpose. Don't literally go by the formula of the net salary computation in your company. Okay. Here I'm going to say gross salary minus loss of pay. And then finally, I'm going to say net sal. So now you might be wondering, okay, I just click on done here. Okay, there is a mistake here. Double equal sign is there. So that's why when you use that one, okay, don't worry about that. Okay, look here. So if you don't face any syntax error, then it will directly, it should come like this, enter parameters. It'll asking, it is now asking me to enter the value for these parameters, gsal and these things. Look here, gsal is a parameter and LOP is a parameter. Right? So we just specified some general name. Okay, so that if I pass any value to these two variables, it automatically picks up and then it computes the net sal and then it returns the net sal. So this is something like let block, and this is called your in block. And whatever the computation or the expression on the right side of the equal sign, that will get executed. The output of this one will get stored here. And I wanted to return this value. In the in block, you need to specify net sal. In block is mandatory. And here you need to specify, because the net sal is the one holding the final net salary value. After subtracting the loss of pay from your gross salary, the net salary will hold the net sal value in it. That is the one it is returning it. So now tell me one thing. In your company, you have 5 lakh employees are there. With this simple formula, you can compute the net salary just by passing these two values. Okay, and it will make your life very simple, right? Okay, so now here I just say the net salary is I just let me be very let's say 3,25,000, and then loss of pay is let's say 25,000. For us to remember, so 3,25,000 will get copied here. This is my parameter. The value for my parameter, I mentioned it here. This is value for my parameter gsal. And for this is the value for LOP. See, it is asking in a very logical way, right? So it's asking me, hey, enter the value for gsal, enter the value for loss of pay. I entered it. This one will get copied here. And these two values, since it's get copied, it's, the values will move down here also. So the 3,25,000 will come here from here to here, and LOP, the 25,000 will come here. So 3,25,000 minus 25,000, the net salary is 3 lakh. Okay, so that is what the idea. If I click on here, look here, 3 lakh. So now, okay, in your company, the the deductions, you have various parameters like provident fund and the tax deductions, TDS, tax deduction at source, and many things, right? You put all the formula here. That's it. You need to put the generic formula, common formula. Okay. Once you create it, you're all set. This common formula, what I'm talking is, this is called your business rule or business logic. When you talk to the software guys, they use this term business logic, business logic. This is what they are talking about it. This is the business logic that they use it to arrive the net sal. Okay. But in the real-time scenario, they'll do complex calculations. The earnings minus deductions, and the gross salary minus LOP, loss of pay, minus tax deduction at source, minus P provident fund, and minus the ESI, something like that. Okay, and they deduct all the things, and finally you'll get net salary. But this logic is same for each and every employee. You agree with me or not? Say yes or no. Are you all feeling sleepy? Sunday. Is this logic same for all the employees, right? The formula will not vary from person to person. The formula will remain same. For example, in your case, you did not take any loss of pay. So hence this column will have 0 against your name. So total salary LOP is 0. Okay, then you will get the salary whatever you wanted. Okay, so this is to I just rename it as a meaningful name. Net sal or some compute net cell. So square me function compute. So we started with a very simple custom function. So with this function, no matter what value you specify, it will get squared. Okay. And here it is very generic. We did not do hard coding. For example, had I mentioned 10 into 10 directly, what will happen? This function will return all the time 100. Instead, I made it generic. How I made it generic? A into A. Just pass A and A into A. So here I did not do any hard coding. Hard code means don't put the value directly. Instead, you specify the parameter value here directly. This is my parameter, A into A. That's all. And here you need to specify the value. Now the next question is, okay, sir, I created a function, but in my company I have 5,50,000 employees. Or each and every employee, do you want me to type it here? What is, again, it is a rework, right? So, okay, don't worry. For that, I will come back to you. Okay. So as of now, we created a function called net salary. Okay. And the next step is I just go to employee table. Okay. In this case, I just LOP and G cell, right? So here we don't have data here. Let me do one thing. Okay, for the time being, I just open the employee. Here, I will say, I'm going to see something like, okay, instead of this, I just go to my operating system. I'll create some test data, okay, and at least in the Excel, we'll give more salary. Let's be liberal, at least in the Excel, okay? So these are the different employee name. Okay, it is not okay. Here I just say John, and here I say Shweta, something like that. Okay, different name I just give it, and manager something like that. Okay, let it be there. Here I just say to like 24,000 something like that. Okay. This is my for gross salary, and we have deductions, right? LOP. I just say LOP instead of commission. I just say LOP for her. I will put null here, and here the LOP is 2,000, 25,000, 10,200, and 5,000, 15,000, something like that. That's all. My data set is ready. And I don't need these two columns. This is not required to give a demo for this. I'm going to delete these two columns. And we are going to have only these columns in it. And I just select it and include emp1.csv, right? I just load it into this data set quickly. And here itself, we can load it. Take CSV, emp1.csv. That is the one, right? Okay. I just click on OK. Yeah, we are done. And the next one is, look here, in this case, we have how many employees? 5 employees. You just think, likewise, 5 lakh employees are. This is very important. Listen carefully. With this, I'm going to wrap up. Okay. Let's instead of 5 employees, 5 lakh employees are there. Each and every employee, I need to have an additional column. In that additional column, net salary to be computed automatically. How it should get computed automatically? Because we have already created a function called compute net sale. This function has to be applied on this data set. Okay. Now you see the magic, how it is going to happen. So what I am going to do is, in this data set, I'm going to, so I have this sal, and this, you assume that this is my gross salary and this is my loss of pay. Okay. And I just go to the add column and invoke custom function. Here I just say net sal. Which one I use? This time invoke custom function. Remember, okay. This is different. So far, I did not discuss about this one. I discussed about custom column from exam, conditional column, invoke custom function. I did not discuss so far. Now function query. What is the function query? Compute net sale. You need to go and select it here. So here in the drop down, when you click on it, all the functions, whatever you create, will display. See, square mean net, compute net sale. We don't want to square the value. Instead, I wanted to compute the net salary. For this compute net salary, I have written the logic in this function. Okay, I have selected the function name. I'm going to apply this function on this data set. Look here. So this function accepts 2 parameters. One is a gross salary, other one is loss of pay. Okay, here, look here, it's a very beautiful option here. Column name. So simply go and say which column you have the gross salary data in it. Salary column as the gross salary details in it for each employee. And here, 2 options here. You want to enter manually or you want to enter the column name. If I enter manually, it will take a lot of time. In my case, I have 550,000 employees. That each and every employee, if I enter it manually, my life has gone. Instead, I just simply click on the column name and select loss of pay column. This data is already available. Loss of pay for each employee is available in this column. And gross salary is available in the column name of sal for each employee is available. Now what we are saying is, create a new column by the name of net sal. And for this column, you need to apply this logic. So pick up these 2 columns and then subtract for each employee the loss of pay from this, the gross salary. But you might be wondering, what is GSAL and SAL? GSAL, you can give whatever name. Okay, here I've given some meaningful name. Okay, GSAL means you will understand quickly. Okay, GSAL is gross salary. So gross salary, from the gross salary, we are subtracting loss of pay. That's the reason why. But you need to map the correct value. This is my parameter name. And you need to specify the correct column. You just see the magic now. Click on OK. Look here. Just with one click, I'm able to compute the net sal for all the 550,000 employees. Just think that way. Okay, here we have hardly few records are there. 5 records. But here, nothing to deduct. Simply it gives me this one. 120495 minus this one. And 120445 minus this one. 24053. And look here, in a matter of second, it was able to compute the net salary. So that's the reason why we call function in general function or custom function as a reusability. We are able to reuse this function for each and every employee, wasn't it? That's what we did it for each and so the same function, we reused it. We simply called it. Behind the scene, it calls for each employee and then it executes for each and every employee. It goes simply and pick up the gross salary from this column for each employee, and loss of pay for for each employee it picks up, and then for line by line each record it goes and subtract gross salary minus loss of pay, gross salary minus loss of pay. With the simple function we are able to implement the reusability. You don't have to write the same logic each and every line. If you want to do the same thing in Excel, what you do? So you need to create a new cell called net cell, and here you need to put the same formula, right? Subtract this one from this one, subtract this one from this one, right? So let's this is column G8 minus H8, and here sorry G8 minus H8, and then G9 minus H9, and G10 minus H10. You need to specify the formula each and every. Here it is not like that. Simply create a function once and then use the invoke custom function. There you call that function, and then you specify the column names for the corresponding parameters. It does everything in a matter of seconds. It makes your life pretty simple.